Hello friends, welcome to Knowledge Galaxy to rediscover the basics with Mayank Tiwari, a premier coaching and training channel dedicated to metallurgy studies and consultancy. Established to cater the needs of students, degree, diploma and AMIIM metallurgy, competitive and recruitment exams for GATE, SAIL and various other government and private sector companies, metallurgical industries and whosoever seeking knowledge and information about various subjects and topics of metallurgy, operational process optimization, productivity improvement analysis, concepts like 5As, total productive maintenance, TPM, quality circle, QC, root cause analysis, RCA, ISO systems, QMS, EMS and OSHAs, practical and effective communication English, written and spoken. To impart practical industrial knowledge as per your specific requirements via tailor-made training sessions for your colleagues, employees and students, please contact me on knowledgegalaxy26@gmail.com or WhatsApp me on +91 99 for scheduling and organizing the sessions at your place or via video conferencing. My dear friends, this video is very much important from the point of view that today I am going to discuss about smelting of refined ferromanganese. So please do watch the video till the end, and for your queries and your comments, please do comment so that I can solve and give answer to your queries. So my dear friends, let's start this presentation. First, introduction. Medium and low carbon ferromanganese is used for alloying manganese low carbon steels. Medium carbon ferromanganese may be manufactured by first refining high carbon ferromanganese by manganese ore in an electric furnace. Second, by refining silicomanganese from silicon. And third, by reducing manganese ore and specifically smelted manganese bearing slag. The refining of high carbon ferromanganese is described by the following reactions. Mn3C plus MnO, this gives 4Mn plus CO. Fe3C plus MnO is equal to 3Fe plus Mn plus CO. While the second reaction proceeds quite easily and completely at somewhat lower temperatures, the first is incomplete even at very high temperatures. There are experiments in the decarbonization of ferromanganese by manganese ore conducted by V.A. Bogley have shown that ferromanganese with a carbon content of at least 2.5 to 3.5% may be obtained by this method at temperatures somewhat higher than 1700 degrees Celsius. This method is not practiced at present because decarbonization entails considerable manganese evaporation and the furnace lining is subject to severe operating conditions. Widely applied in the industry today is the method of manufacturing refined ferromanganese by refining silicomanganese from silicon by manganese ore according to the reactions 2MnO plus Si is equal to 2Mn plus SiO2. Mn3O4 plus 2Si is equal to 3Mn plus 2SiO2. Lime is added to the mixture in the smelting of refined ferromanganese to bond the nascent silicon oxides to stable calcium silicates. Calcium oxide contained in the lime replaces manganese monoxide in its silica compounds and promotes its fuller reduction. Introduction of an excess lime leads to an increase in the amount of hard to smelt viscous slag as well as to greater evaporation of manganese. In practice, therefore, lime is added only to ensure the CaO to SiO2 ratio within the limits of 1.1 to 1.3 with MnO content in the slag being equal to 15 to 20%. However, the optimum slag basicity in the manufacture of medium carbon ferromanganese by the above mentioned method has not yet been sufficiently investigated. Refined ferromanganese is smelted in three-phase rotating and rocking furnaces of 2.5 MVA at 111 to 178 volts by the batch process with the complete meltdown of the furnace. My dear friends, to know more about the furnace details, please do visit my video which is available in my channel. The furnace is lined with magnesite bricks. It is recommended to fuse the furnace hearth with magnesite as the lining operating conditions are very severe due to the high running qualities of metal and slag. First grade ore with 49 to 53% manganese and 0.14 to 0.16% phosphorus is used to refine silicomanganese. The silicomanganese used in the manufacture of ferromanganese should contain 0.7 to 0.9% carbon and maximum up to 1.4% carbon. The silicon content in the silicomanganese equals 18 to 22%. Phosphorus should come to 0.1% and the size of the lumps should not exceed 30 mm. Lime should be hard burned and in lumps not exceeding 80 mm in size. Calcium and phosphorus should average at least 90% and maximum 0.1% respectively. Silicomanganese richer in silicon approx 30% silicon and poorer in carbon approx 0.2 to 0.3% should be used in the manufacture of low carbon ferromanganese containing less than 0.5% carbon. As a rule, this alloy is replaced in steel melting by medium carbon ferromanganese and metallic manganese because it is difficult to manufacture it. The composition of the mixture depends on the contents of the raw materials used. The burden for a single heat consists approximately of the following components: manganese ore 4600 kg, silicomanganese 3000 kg, lime 2300 kg. As soon as the tap hole is packed, power is applied to the furnace. The electrodes are slipped till they contact the remaining liquid slag. Power input at the electrodes is adjusted and charging is started. Power input should be increased gradually to prevent the metal remaining on the hearth from carburizing. The non-metallic part of the mixture, especially lime, is charged so as to protect the furnace lining from deterioration, that is, on the walls. As the charge melts down, the materials situated at the walls are heaped round the electrodes. A sample is taken following the complete meltdown of the charge with a view to determine the silicon content in the alloy. If the analysis shows that the alloy is of standard composition, then it is tapped. If the sample reveals a high silicon content, the alloy is held over in the furnace a little longer. When necessary, ore and lime are added. The metal is tapped into a ladle filled with slag from a preceding heat. The excess of slag from the first ladle flows into the second ladle and then into the third. The second ladle filled with slag is left over for the tapping of the next heat. During the tapping, the slag is sampled and analyzed as to its SiO2, CaO, MgO, Al2O3 and FeO content. Slag contains approximately 29 to 32% MnO, 30 to 32% SiO2, 29 to 36% CaO, 0.30 to 1% FeO, 1.2 to 2% Al2O3, 0.02 to 0.03% P2O5 and 1.0 to 0.7% MgO. The slag is used as an addition to the burden of blast furnace smelting pig iron. The tap hole is packed with magnesite powder paste. Medium carbon ferromanganese is teamed into whitened molds. During the teaming, the metal jet is sampled and analyzed as to its manganese, carbon and phosphorus contents. When they have been cooled, ingots are conveyed to a finished products floor where they are dressed and crated by heat batches for shipment to the customers. The overall recovery of manganese from ore and rich manganese slag in the production of silicomanganese and medium carbon ferromanganese amounts to 48 to 51%. The main cost items in the production of medium carbon ferromanganese are the raw materials and especially the silicomanganese. Furnace teams should consequently focus attention on bringing down the manganese dressing and teaming losses down, as well as on raising the second recovery from silicomanganese. The consumption rates of materials per basic ton of medium carbon ferromanganese as well as the recovery of the manganese are as follows. Manganese ore 48% minimum, it accounts for 1340 to 1420 kg. Silicomanganese requires around 950 to 1050 kg. Lime requires around 760 to 850 kg. Anode paste requires around 30 to 34 kg. Power requirement is 1600 to 1900 kWh, and the recovery of manganese is approximately 59 to 63%. My dear friends, hope you liked the content and found the video worth. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe the channel. Also remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the notification of the new videos promptly. My dear friends, please do visit my channel and view all the videos available, which are very much helpful for you to gain knowledge about the ferroalloys. So this is for complete for this video. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Thank you.